EDL 856 School Community Relations Case Study by Mark Sandbo, focusing on Standard 4. Category 1, Problem Identification and Analysis. What is the problem at John F. Kennedy School? The problem at John F. Kennedy School is that the current principal does not collaboratively work with outside agencies to build upon and improve his building, student learning, and student success. What do we know about the case? We know that parental and community involvement at John F. Kennedy School is little to non-existent. We know through formal and informal discussions with the principal that he feels that parents and patrons do not want to be involved, while at the same time pushing the situation might only make it worse. We also know that at our last discussion, the principal finally agreed to a scheduled meeting with parents, although he made it also clear that he wasn't going to approve any type of PTA or PTO. What do we need to know, or what would we like to know? What we need to know is first is why the parents and community members are so disinterested in getting involved in the school and its operations. What we need to know is the types of groups or committees the principal tried previously when he became an administrator. What were those committees in charge of doing for the school? Finally, we need to know if the message about getting to the meeting was given an ample time for the parents to schedule it into their calendars. I would also like to know if the message was written or a simple verbal message. The case study does not specify that detail. Category 2, Plan of Action with Appropriate Strategies for Implementation. Step 1, Increase communication links between school and community. The first step taken would be to drastically increase communication between school, parents, and community members by implementing strategies discussed throughout this class: monthly newsletters, mass texts, press releases, radio, internet, etc. Step 2, change the culture of the school. The second strategy would be to change the culture and perception of communication between school and community. By promoting those strategies addressed in the previous slide and discussing the meeting times, activity dates, community recognitions or appreciations, I can show our patrons that we do want them to not only be a part of our educational process, but also to be in the loop on the daily operations and happenings within the building and district when possible. Step 3, encouragement of faculty and staff. Although my plan of action is good to this point, it is not complete unless the faculty buys into the idea as well. I'd want faculty members to write into these newsletters, press releases, district website, and describe the happenings within their classroom. This way the entire community, and not a select few, know what different teachers are doing within their classes. Teachers can also use these means to post important dates or notices for parental or student reminders. Category 3, resolve issues based on promoting the success of all students. As an educational leader, I promoted the success of our students by understanding the need for community and parental involvement in our school, while encouraging our principal to set up a meeting for our parents and attempt to better improve our parental and community contact. As an educational leader, I promote the success of our students by attempting to involve parents in their child's education through the establishment of a parents' advisory group. As an educational leader, I promoted the success of our students by allowing parents more opportunity and notice of school functions through added communication channels such as newsletters, press releases, and much more. These actions will help build productive and lasting relationships between the school and its community. Category 4, debrief the problem by reflecting on what you were thinking, feeling, and valuing. What was I thinking? My first thought was, how long have these types of relations been taking place within the school? What was I thinking? My second thought was, what had occurred previously to make this principal so timid of optimal external involvement in school? Does he not have the social ability to lead this task, or just purely lacking common sense? Somewhat both evident in his response to the idea of school-community relations. What was I thinking? My final thought was about the message sent home. I thought from a standpoint of being the principal and having a certain amount of communication channels at your disposal, the message home was very amateur. While at the same time, I'm not so sure if the message was a written note or a verbal message. Again, that was never stated in the case study. Category 4, debrief the problem by reflecting on what you were thinking, feeling, and valuing. What was I feeling? I felt frustrated on the principal's inability to realize what a vital source parents and community patrons are to students' successes in school. What was I feeling? I felt disappointed that only 8 parents showed up for the meeting in the auditorium, and in some way felt that the principal had been proven correct. What was I feeling? I finally felt that the process could get started even with 8 parents showing up to the first meeting. I understand those numbers will grow as I continue to open up communication channels and build relationships with community members. Category 4, debrief the problem by reflecting on what you were thinking, feeling, and valuing. What was I valuing? I value the necessity of good school-community relations, as supported by evidence throughout this presentation and the establishment of a parental meeting. What was I valuing? I value the 8 parents that did show up to the meeting despite the unspecified details of the actual meeting in the take-home message a week prior. I value the persistence of the young assistant principal, Mrs. Rose, and her ability to keep pushing her idea about school-community relations and understanding how beneficial it could be for not only the students, but also the school and the school district itself. Category 4, debrief the problem by identifying issues that are unresolved or open for further investigation. 3 issues that remain unresolved or open for further investigation are: why has the principal been so against parent and community involvement within the school? Will the parents and community meet the expectations for getting involved with John F. Kennedy School and its activities? What has come from the first Parents Advisory Group meeting held in the auditorium, including parental and administrative support? Category 5. The reflection provides evidence that the building level administrator collaborates with families and community members. There is clear and convincing and consistent evidence that the building level administrator has an effective, multifaceted plan for collaborating with families and community members in a way that contributes to the school's success. This was done by drastically increasing communication between school, parents, and community members by implementing strategies discussed within this class over the course of the semester. Monthly newsletters, mass texts, press releases, radio, internet, etc. All of these sources would be used as communication and collaboration means for parents and community members for the betterment of our students. Category 5. The reflection provides evidence that the building level administrator collaborates with families and community members. There is clear, convincing, and consistent evidence that the building level administrator has an effective, multifaceted plan for collaborating with families and community members in a way that contributes to the school's success. This was done by the ability to change the culture and perception of communication between school and community, with the promotion of the strategies addressed in the previous slide and the discussing of meeting times, activity dates, community recognitions or appreciations. I can show our patrons or our stakeholders that we do want them to not only be a part of the educational process, but also in the loop on the daily operations and happenings within our building and district when at all possible.